Hi everyone, and welcome to the Hustlers. Today, what we're going to be talking about is basically for all my small-time businesses as to how you take, or how do you attract a new consumer base or a new consumer. Maybe for some guys, it might not be that you'll be able to, um, attract a full 30 to 40 people as a consumer base, but you can maybe attract one or two, right? Give them that excellent service, and from there they can refer their friends and so on and so forth. Okay. So what I want to go through is a little bit tips and tricks when it comes to marketing, all right, and how do you get those essential first couple clients through that door. Okay, now this sort of you need to sort of take into consideration as to how this applies to your business, but the fundamental principle applies to all, right? So you got to come up with your own strategies, but I will give you little tips and tricks along the way, and to see how that sort of plays out in your business. So please let me know in the comment section. So first and foremost, there's a lot of youngsters out there who are doing a lot of Shopify businesses, right? Now, a lot of Shopify, if you're starting a Shopify account, it's an amazing way to get into the market of e-coms. Um, there are costs involved. You got to keep in mind there's a monthly subscription. There's also additional costs when you can make a purchase. There's also advertising on Facebook and all the other social platforms out there. It's a really good way, especially for a youngster, to get into a business side of things. Now you do, depending on the country in which you reside, you do need an ABN if you're in Australia, and you do need a GS. You need to register for GST. Okay, so there are those sort of things you need to preemptively get in order before you can actually start your Shopify account. But the good thing about Shopify is that they do have a trial period, which means that you can do it for a little bit, see how you go, and then from there, if you want to, then you can take out the membership as well. Okay. Now, what I wish someone had told me before I even actually started my Shopify account is that have your strategies ready to go to implement it one after the other, straight away, one after the other, right? Especially your marketing strategies. Now, I thought I would just go in there, splash some cash onto my Shopify account, and it's basically I'm just throwing shit at the wall, and if it sticks, it sticks, right? And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I wish I had someone told me early on that no, have step-by-step guide as to where you want the business to be at certain time frames from the time you've started it, right? So have that business plan in order. Okay. Now, for me personally, what I when I started my Shopify account, the first 3 months didn't make nothing. I'll be very honest. The first 3 months you will not make nothing, unless you have an amazing product, or you know what you're doing right off the bat. Absolutely, you'd be very successful in Shopify. But if you are new to the ecom scene and you don't really know what you're doing, sit down, okay, make a timeline of events as to where, so from the time you started to where you want to be, let's just say every quarter or, half yearly, whatever it is, okay? Take into consideration that what are the costs might be, okay? And do not just splash cash for no reason, okay? Don't make that mistake. Now, one of the biggest marketing strategies that I can actually give you is have a hook item. All right, have an item that gets that consumer on the hook, because you have to understand it's not just them you're going to get, it's potentially their free best friends as well. So from the consumer strategies that from all the papers out there, it's usually if you are happy with the service or you're happy with the product, you're likely to tell three other friends to tell them about it. But in reverse, if a consumer or if a potential client is not happy with the service or the product that you've given, there will be up to 7 to 8 different people that they'll tell that, oh, do not go to this business or do not go to this service or do not do that, right? So you need to be very careful when you do have them on the hook. Quickly grab them in, give them that excellent service, and that would then roll over to more and more sales. Okay, so if you do have a Shopify account now, the hook items that I'm talking about is basically, and you probably see this on a lot of different YouTube channels out there, right? They would have a, hey, put the item for free, but then incorporate the cost of the item into the shipping, and get the customers to pay for the shipping on top of the actual products. So that's a really good strategy, and at first it does work, but it only works for small items, right? So like for bracelets, rings, and accessories, basically, it doesn't work for larger items, right? Especially if you're making the items yourself and you're not actually just grabbing items from Alibaba, putting it on your putting it on your Shopify account and hiking about a money, like basically putting your profit on top of it. Okay. That works for those strategy. It doesn't work for those who, are creating their own products. So for my candle makers out there, or for my, designer shirt guys out there, it doesn't sort of work for you. It doesn't really apply to you when it comes to that. Okay, so you got to come up with your hook items. How do I get my consumer base on the hook and get them in, right? Now, that understanding your consumer base will be a whole different video, and we'll go through that together. So I hope you stay with the journey with me. But again, when I go through the hook items, you do have the strategy, or the items for free, pay for shipping. That's the basic one. Everyone gets on board. But the best item, the best sell trick that I've sort of found out is scarcity, right? Put the item for sale, right? Maybe hack away at your profit margin a little bit, especially at the start to begin with, anyways. Hack away at it, put it for sale, and then put a countdown on it. Right? There's a lot of different sort of apps that you can actually put on top of your Shopify accounts where there's a slow countdown. Okay, create that scarcity, create that urgency for that sale, right? So as soon as you've got a product up, have a sell percentage discounted attached to that product, right? So if you get, this is 50% off, this is 60% off, but then have a countdown next to the item, right? And the countdown can be as simple as, hey, you've got 3 minutes. You've got 3 minutes to now go to checkout, purchase the item, put your details in, and walk away with it. Okay, so that would be one of the best strategies you can do, and that sort of applies to all businesses as well. Create that scarcity, and you'll get that sale. The other thing I would want to say is have a special, like, it's sort of tailor the actual website. I have like a special item that you sell, and it's only available on your website, right? Get an item, get something that you are able to market the hell out of, right? And attract everybody in. For me personally, the one thing that I attracted a lot of my consumer base was rings, right? So I would sell a ring, and I would market on every single other platform out there you can possibly think of. Don't limit yourself to just Facebook or Instagram, all right? Go to Twitter, go to TikToks, go to blogs, go to wherever your consumer base is, and hook them, okay? Don't limit yourself just to Facebook and Insta, right? And the other thing is, when you do market on Insta, I know some of you guys might think, oh, I'm going to go to an influencer and get an influencer to do my stuff. Guys, please look at the ratios when you look at influencers, okay? There's always an ROI on all these influencers. Some of them do have fake accounts. Don't fall into that trap, okay? Some of them buy the subscriptions or buy their sort of I suppose they buy their likes, buy their likes, buy their followers, So be very, very careful as to who you go for when it comes to a social media influencer. Okay, if you follow them for a very long time, perfect. Okay, but when I say what I meant by the ratio is basically if they've got 10,000 followers and they've got 1/3 less likes on their posts that they put up, to me, that is a really shit ROI. Return on investment, that's incredibly shit. Okay, I would rather going to the big brand guys, right? Rather than going to the guys who have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K followers, or even 100 or million followers, whatever, like hundreds and millions of followers, whatever it might be. Go to the smaller guys first. Go to guys who have like 3,000 followers, 2,000 followers. Not only are they incredibly cheap, right? They're more eager to sell your products, because the more successful the product does, I suppose the more that sort of builds their rep as well as a social influencer. Okay, and if you do want them on board as a part of your marketing, sort of campaign, get them on board. Give them, say, hey, anytime we sell X amount of units of this product, we'll give you a commission. Something along them lines. So basically, you are technically hiring people without actually paying them until they get the job done, right? Now, those are some of my strategies. See what works for you. Please let me know in the comment section. And yeah, we'll follow up. Thank you.